Hello my dear children, this is wave mechanical model of atom. Today we will discuss the MCQ related with this wave mechanical model of atom. In the last session we discussed about the MCQ tips of the Bohr's atomic model. Our next model is wave mechanical model. Today I am giving you some of the tips of wave mechanical model. This model based upon de Broglie's, Louis de Broglie's concept and Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So this model, wave mechanical model, it's called quantum mechanical model. Detail of this model I've already taken in my descriptive type lectures. Now today I will discuss only the MCQ tips. Not some of the questions, not all the questions. De Broglie's concept. Now in the de Broglie's concept, which is, lambda is equal to h by mv, it's called a de Broglie's equation. Lambda is equal to h by momentum, mass into velocity is momentum. Here you came to know lambda inversely proportional to m, greater the mass, less the wavelength. That means the particles which have a greater mass, they never show wave character because they have a larger mass, their wavelength will come too small that they cannot be find out by any technique. So this is your, next is, this is your one formula, this is your second formula. Sometimes the kinetic energy is given. Kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. V is equal to under root 2 kinetic energy by m. You may put this velocity here. You get third formula. The answer comes lambda is equal to h by, it is under root 2 kinetic energy. That is, you can put that's 2 kinetic energy. It's your h by mv. If you will solve this equation become v is under root 2 kinetic energy by m. Kinetic energy is half mv square. V is equal to under root 2 kinetic energy by m. You put here under root 2 kinetic energy by m. This become m half and this become under root 2 kinetic energy by m into it. So this is the third formula you may apply. So in de Broglie's concept, for calculating the numericals of the de Broglie's concept, you can take the help of these three formulas. Lambda is equal to h by mv, lambda is equal to h by p, lambda is equal to m. This is the numerical part that we will take now. Now one more thing you can write. This model, this de Broglie's concept, de Broglie's equation, it is only and only applicable to microscopic particle, not to macroscopic particle. And always remember, de Broglie's and Bohr's relation postulates resembles. Which postulate of Bohr's resembles? Answer is whose angular momentum is integral multiple of h by 2 pi. This Bohr's postulate can derived from de Broglie's concept. Theoretically, and one word, one mark MCQ may come. De Broglie's, Bohr's are in agreement with each other, but Heisenberg and Bohr's atomic model is in clash with each other. Again listen, de Broglie's and Bohr's models, they are in agreement with each other. In which postulate both are in agreement, angular momentum is integral multiple of h by 2 pi. But Heisenberg and Bohr's model, they are direct in clash with each other. I think you might have written. Next is, this is your formulas you can use in the numericals. Now you may write few of the questions related with this de Broglie's equation. Dear children, electron is a wave as well as particle. So electron is a particle. It is J.J. Thomson cathode ray experiment. It is proved by J.J. Thomson cathode ray experiment. Write down cathode ray experiment. Electron is a wave proved by Davison and Germer experiment. That experiment we have already taken in descriptive class. Electron is a particle as well as wave, like light is a particle as well as wave. Electron is a wave. It is proved by Davison and Germer experiment. Electron is a particle. It is proved by J.J. Thomson cathode ray experiment, and the wavelength is calculated by applying de Broglie's equation. I think you written. Now after that you may take few questions regarding de Broglie's concept. Right on the first question is calculate the de Broglie's wavelength of electron. Calculate the de Broglie's wavelength of electron that has been accelerated from the rest through a potential difference of 1 keV. So always remember kinetic, there is one more way to calculate kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is equal to potential difference in volt multiplied by charge on electron. That is fixed. It is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, and the potential difference in volt, it is given 1 kilovolt. It is 1000 volt. So kinetic energy in joules will come. So again listen, the question is calculate the de Broglie's wavelength of electron that has been accelerated from the rest through a potential difference of 1 keV. So you will apply this kinetic energy in joule. It's equal to potential difference in volt multiplied by charge. Charge is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulombs, and potential difference in volt is 1 kilovolt 1000 volt. Okay, you apply this. This is your kinetic energy will come. Then you apply the formula, lambda is equal to h by under root 2 kinetic energy into m. M is the mass of electron, 9.1 into 10 raised to power minus 31 kilogram. So in this way you can calculate the question. Second question from de Broglie's, calculate the de Broglie's wavelength of carbon dioxide molecule. When carbon dioxide rather than electron, any other molecule come whose weight is in gram per mole, then what you will do, you will first find the weight, its mass is equal to 40 gram per mole. You divide the mass by 1000 so that it become kilogram. You divide it by Avogadro's number. Avogadro's number is per mole. Where per mole cancel, your answer will become kilogram. Then you apply lambda is equal to h by mv. H is a Planck's constant, 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second. Mass of carbon dioxide molecule, oxygen molecule, of any other proton if it is, you can calculate like this. Velocity will be given if you can put here. But if mass of electron comes, it is very simple. You apply 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31. If the not electron comes, proton comes, that is alpha particles comes, then what you will do? For example, the question is calculating the de Broglie's wavelength of the alpha particle. Alpha particle is made up of helium molecule, helium nuclei. It is 4 mass, so it's 4. Now you will write 4 gram. You divide it by 1000 degree. Any of the other whose mass is in gram per mole, never put here. First of all, you convert it into kilogram. Again listen, whose mass is in gram per mole, it is to convert it into kilogram by divide it by 1000 and Avogadro's number. The moment your mass become kilogram, you can put here a velocity will be given. You can put velocity, and this is a way to calculate lambda. Now this is de Broglie's equation going on. Next question is, the next question you can take, which of the following has the least de Broglie's wavelength? A, B, C, D part. A part is electron, B part is proton, C part is carbon dioxide, D part is sulfur dioxide. The question is which has the least de Broglie's wavelength? Answer is mass is larger, because lambda is equal to h by mv, lambda proportional to 1 by m, greater the mass, less the lambda. Electron has mass 9.1 into minus 31 kilogram, proton is just 1 h1, it is just 1 gram, carbon dioxide is 44 gram, sulfur dioxide is 64 gram. Your answer is D part. Greater the mass, less the lambda. We have covered each and every point of de Broglie wavelength. Numericals related with the de Broglie will come 3 types of numericals. Sometime the question asked calculate the de Broglie wavelength when the kinetic energy is given. You apply the formula lambda is equal to h by under root 2 kinetic energy m. Calculate the momentum. MCQ type of questions I will send you sooner. Today I am just giving you the tips of the MCQ. How will you use these occasions in a short way. Now write down second topic is Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Write each and every point that will be helpful for you. Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So you know this principle detail I have already taken. Principle is delta x into delta p is greater than or equal to h by 4 pi. So this is your equation. Your momentum is mass into velocity. Delta x into m into delta v is equal to h by 4 pi. Always remember, if your delta x, write down few points. If delta x is 0, then delta p will be infinity. If delta x is 0, then delta v is infinity. Always write down. This you always remember. Next, write down the one question. If the uncertainty in the position is 0, then what is uncertainty in momentum? 4 options are given. Listen, if the uncertainty in position, delta x is uncertainty in position, delta p is uncertainty in momentum, delta v is uncertainty in velocity, m is the mass, and these all are the constants. The question first is, if the uncertainty in position is 0, of a moving particle is 0, then what is the value of delta p? A, B, C, D, 4 options are given. The answer is infinity. The second question is, if uncertainty in the position of the electron is the same as that of helium atom. Write down, if the uncertainty in the position of the electron is same as that of uncertainty in the position of helium atom. That is electron and helium atom, delta x is same. Then question is, what is the uncertainty in momentum of helium atom? When uncertainty in momentum of electron is given, what you will do? Delta x into delta p is equal to h by 4 pi divided, this is all for electrons, divided for helium atom, delta x into delta p is equal to h by 4 pi, this is for your helium atom. This will cancel, it is equal to 1. If your uncertainty position is same, this will also cancel. The answer is delta p of electron momentum by proton, that is by helium atom. That means your momentum of the electron and momentum of the helium atom will be same. If the question was, now listen, if the uncertainty in position and position of electron and helium atom is same, then what is the uncertainty in momentum of helium atom when the uncertainty in momentum of electron is given? So whatever given, you put the value, you get the same value of the, this is all. Now this is all type, this is a question carrying very simple numericals will come from this topic. Just apply the formula, and sometimes the velocity is given but not delta v is given. And second is sometimes velocity is given but delta v is not given. What you will do? You will multiply the velocity by the uncertainty. It is given, I have taken this type of question in my descriptive type. This uncertainty to 0.01%. You will divide it by 1000. You can convert it into delta v. Otherwise, it's very simple types of numericals come. So delta, it is a, so what is Heisenberg uncertainty principle? It is not possible to find the position and momentum of a microscopic particle with accuracy simultaneously at one time, that is. So its formula is delta x into delta p is equal to h by 4 pi. If delta x is 0, momentum will be infinity, and momentum is 0, delta x is in infinity. That means, yeah, either you can find out the delta x or you can find out delta p at one time. If uncertainty in position become maximum, then uncertainty in momentum become minimum, and vice versa. So very simple numericals are there in our, now I will send you MCQ questions of this topic, uncertainty principle, de Broglie. We have covered two topics, de Broglie's and Heisenberg uncertainty principle. This wave mechanical model consists of these two. The one is de Broglie's, second is Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Now I'm taking the topic is quantum number. Many of the questions comes from the quantum number. You know, there are the four quantum number. They tell us the complete address of electron. The first quantum number is n. It's a principal quantum number. It is given by scientist Bohr. Principal quantum number, and in this principal quantum number you can write some of the questions. Total number of electron. You can write some of the formulae, please. If anybody asks you how many electrons present in a shell, in an orbit, and you apply the formula 2n square. But if question comes, how many electrons present in the subshell? First and second. How many electrons present in subshell or orbital? Subshell it is, you will apply 2 into 2n plus 1. If the question comes, how many electrons present in orbital? In orbital it is always 2. Write down. If the question comes, principal quantum, what is the principal quantum detail? I have already given to you. Principal quantum number is n is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. K shell, L shell, M shell, N shell. What is tell us? It tells us about the energy, and E1 is less than E2, is less than E3, is third shell, and same base radius first shell, less than second shell, less than third shell, fourth shell, but the velocity present the first is greater than second, then third, and fourth. Kindly note down. So principal quantum number tell us electron present in which shell. And 1, 2, 3, 4. K shell, L shell, M shell, N shell. It tells us about the energy of each shell or electronic energy. How? That I told you day before yesterday, that is E is equal to minus 13.6 into Z square by N square electron volt per atom, or minus 2.188 into 10 to the power minus 18 into Z square by N square joules per atom. That topic we already covered 2-3 times. So you can calculate the energy of any shell, and after calculating we find energy of first shell less than second, third, fourth. Radius of the first less than 2, 3, 4. But the velocity of the electron present in the first shell is greater than the second, third, and fourth. Okay, I think you might have kindly write all these things. These all things will be greatly useful but during calculation of MCQ questions. Quantum number. I'm going to rub E1 less than E2, radius less than R2, R3, but velocity greater than 1, 2, 3, 4. This is very important 3 formulas. If you want to calculate the energy electrons, how many electrons present in the orbit, in the shell, you apply 2n square. Electrons present in the subshell, 2 into 2n plus 1. Electrons present in the orbital is always 2. Orbital may be any. This is Pauli's principle. So this is your principal quantum number. It is given by scientists, that is Bohr's. Now I'm taking your second is azimuthal quantum number. Azimuthal quantum number. There are so many names. It's azimuthal quantum number L. It is also called secondary quantum number. It is called angular momentum quantum number. There are so many names. It is L, and L values varies from 0 to n minus 1. Always L value, L it is. Again it is, you know, when the L is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your subshell name is S, P, D, F and G. Up to 4 it is G. L is G. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. So let me start now. Now you can write, if your N is 3, your L will always be 3. Starting from 0, L is 0, 1 and 2. If N is 5, L will also be 5. Starting from 0, L is 0, L is 1, L is 2, L is 3 and L is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If N is 4, L will also be 4. Starting from 0, L is 0, 1, 2 and 3. So this is a way to calculate L. L is always n minus 1. But value started from 0 to n minus 1. So this quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, is given by scientist Sommerfeld, S-O-M-M-E-R, Sommerfeld. Now according to this quantum number, now listen to me carefully. 1s to about the energy, and now kindly write down the S electron which is present in the S subshell has a less energy than P, then D and F, because S orbital is present very close to the nucleus. Every answer explanation I am given to in my descriptive lectures. S less than P, less than D, less than F. So this is your energy, that is your energy orders of the subshells. S has the less energy because it is present very near to the nucleus. Now after that I have taken angular momentum. If angular momentum of electron comes, calculate the angular momentum of electron present in the third shell and multiply NH by 2 pi. That I told you in my last lecture. Calculate the angular momentum of electron present in the third subshell. Subshell comes, multiply under root L into L plus 1 by H by 2 pi. So these are the two formulas, angular momentum quantum number it is. So subshell. If you want to calculate the angular momentum of electron present in a shell, this is your NH by 2 pi. To calculate the angular momentum of electron present in the subshell, apply this formula. So it's also called angular momentum quantum number. Okay, now after that, this is azimuthal quantum number going on, dear children. One more thing you write kindly. 1s has 1s, 2s, 2p, that you have listened, 3s, 3p, 3d, 4s, 4p, 4d, 4f, so on, 5s, 5p, 5d, 5f. Dear children, kindly note, when the case is hydrogen atom, then if the n is the same, energy is the same, right? If n is the same, energy is the same. For example, 1s has less energy, but 2s, 2p has same energy. 3s, 3p, 3d has same energy, but less. Then this second shell has the less energy. This has the same energy. This has the same energy. I think it's okay. Greater the n, greater the energy. But in case of hydrogen atom only. When the case is multi-electron, but in case of multi-electron atom, then energy diagram is dependent upon n plus L. Greater the n, greater the energy happen in H atom. Greater than n plus L, greater the energy is in multi-electron atom. For example, 4s and 3d, which has higher energy or less energy. N is 4, L is 0. Here n is 3, L is 2, SPD. So greater the n, greater the energy. Greater than n plus L, greater the energy. This means your 4s has a less energy than 3d. And which has the less energy, remember that is very present close to the nucleus. Okay, so sometime n plus L is same, 4s and 3p. N is 4, L is 0. N is 3, L is 1. When n plus L is the same, then greater the n, greater the energy. So this is your azimuthal quantum number. But principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, two quantum number I have shared along with some tips. Third is magnetic quantum number. Magnetic quantum number tell us about the number of orientation or number of orbitals. For example, magnetic quantum number tell us number of orbitals. Okay, so it is m is equal to 2l plus 1. Formula is and S subshell, you can say S. For S, L is 0, so it's 2 into 0, 0 plus 1, 1. S has only one orbital. only one orbital. P, you can say P, it's P. For P, L is 1, you put here 1, 2 into 1, 2 plus 1, 3. P has 3 orbitals. 3 orbitals. S is just 1 orbital. D, D for D, L is 2, so it is 2, 2 into 2, 4, 4 plus 1, 5. So D, if an electron is present in the D orbital, it will orient 5 ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And similar case F, F has 7 orbital. 1, 3, 5, 7. And according to Pauli's, you know, 2 electron in 1 orbital, S has maximum 2 electron, P has maximum 6, D maximum 7, S maximum 14. 2 into 3 for F. It is for F, when there is a F, it will be 7 orbital. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 orbital, because 2 into 3, 6. Now kindly write on the name. Now for this, in 1, 2, 3, these are 3p orbital. One is px, other is py, and other is pz. For pz, m always varies from minus L to plus L. There is one more formula. M varies from minus L to plus L, including 0. 0 included. Now if it is pz, then m is always 0. For px and py, you can write plus minus 1 both. Plus minus 1 both. And now coming to D, name of the D orbitals were, that we already done. D orbitals are 5 in numbers. Their names are dz square, dxy, dx square minus y square, dyz, and dzx. Remember students, for dz square, m is 0. For dxy and dx square minus y square, it is plus minus 2. And for this, it is plus minus 1. So kindly write down the names with the magnetic quantum number. Always write. The question may ask 3pz. What is NLM? Here n is 3, L is 1, for Z m is 0. The question asks what is 3dxy? Right? NLM. N is 3, for D, L is 2, for xy, m is plus minus 2. In this way the question may ask. So this is magnetic quantum number. Magnetic quantum number, principal quantum number. Principal quantum number given by scientist Bohr. Magnetic quantum number by Lind, L-I-N-D. And this is your quantum number called azimuthal, given by Sommerfeld. Principal quantum number N, it is N, L, M covered. N shell, L subshell, M orbital. And L is equal to N minus 1, 0 to N minus 1. M is equal to 2L plus 1 or minus L to plus L, including 0. So many questions. When you will practice all these questions, it will become very simple for you to solve the question. Now write down nodes. What is the nodes? Nodes is that where psi square is 0. What is the psi square? It is your probability of finding electron is 0. Nodes. Nodes, how many nodal points? I will tell you some formulas. Write down. If the question comes, how many radial nodes? Number of radial nodes. Then you apply the formula n minus L minus 1. Very simple formula. Number of radial nodes or spherical nodes. Spherical nodes, same formula. But the question comes number of angular nodes. Number of angular nodes, it is equal to n. And total nodes, simple n minus 1. 3 formulas, n minus L minus 1, radial nodes, spherical nodes. Next is angular nodes, just L. Total nodes, I'm taking one question. Total nodes is n minus 1. Write down one question regarding nodes. How many nodes present in the following? How many nodal planes and nodal surfaces? I am taking question on the blackboard. Write down how many nodal, first I am taking planes. How many nodal planes present in the following? It is 3p. Next is 4d. Next is 5s. How many nodes are there? Very simple. You have very simple apply formula n minus l minus 1. Not asked any nodes, then you simple write n minus l minus 1. N is 3, for l is 1, for p l is 1, so it is your 1 answer, 1 node. It's 4 minus 2 minus 1. Again it is 1. It is 5. S for S, it is 0, it is minus 1. You will calculate, there are 4 nodes. 4 it is. So in this way you can calculate the nodal planes. But the question asked if nodal surfaces it is, sorry, it's not planes, it is surface. Now I am talking about planes, nodal planes, right? Nodal surfaces. Nodal plane देखना, x, y, z plane. Nodal plane. The question first is, it is px. Px. Nodal plane is, understood, nodal plane is yz. Py. Nodal plane is xz. Px. Nodal plane is yz. In this way you can calculate nodal planes. And write down for nodal surface and nodal plane. I think it's clear. Nodal surface you apply n minus l minus 1, and nodal planes you may apply this formula. I'm taking more example of the nodal planes. Next, write dxy. Dxy. Nodal planes are dyz and dzx. Two nodal planes. It is dyz and dxz. Similar way you write dyz. It is dxy and dxy, and next is d. Because there are 3d, one is dxy, one is dyz, other is dzx. If dxy is there, dyz and dzx is empty. If dyz is there, then dxy and dzx. If dzx will come, then answer is dxy and dyz. Okay, so this is a 3D orbital nodal planes. But there is a one, remember students, dz square. dz square is one of the d orbital which has no nodal plane. All are occupied. You can see the diagram once again. dz square all have the 4 lobes, 4 lobes, 4 lobes. Only dz square is the orbital which has 2 lobes. X, z right again, y. dz square, it is 2 lobes. dz square I am drawing. And one is the oval shaped ring. Dear children, dz square, your 2 lobes are on z-axis, and this ring, electrons present in this ring, inside this ring, they are rotating along x-y axis. This means x, y, z, all 3 axes are occupied. No free. So no nodal plane in dz square. And one left now, dx square minus y square. Just write it has 2 nodal planes. It has 2 nodal planes. So remember, write down all the d orbitals have 4 lobes except dz square, which has 2 lobes. All others have 4 lobes. Detail I have taken already. Second question is name of any name, just one name given to dz square. Donut shape. D-O-U-G-H. Donut shaped. Next is which d orbital has not any nodal plane? The answer is dz square has not any nodal plane. So now write down how many nodal surfaces in the following. How many nodal surface. It was a plain question. Now coming to how many nodal surface in 3dxy. How many nodal surface? Apply n minus l minus 1. N is 3, L is 2. It is 3 minus 3, 0. 0. The second question is 4dxy. 4dxy, n is 4. For L, for D, L is 2. So it is 1. So I think it's clear. Two formulas will maximum used. Number of nodal planes. If the planes come, that will be x, y, z. Px, yz is nodal plane. Py, x, z is a nodal plane. Pz, xy is a nodal plane. In the same case, dxy, dyz, you might have written, I think so. And about nodal surface. Nodal surface, n minus l minus 1. If question comes, how many total nodes? Then apply simple formula n minus 1. If question comes, how many spherical nodes? Then n minus l minus 1. How many angular nodes? It is simple n. It is equal to l. So in this way you have done the questions related with the topic of de Broglie, Heisenberg, quantum number. Now this is all about this chapter, structure of atom. In my next session 3, I will take few of the questions related with Bohr's model, Heisenberg, de Broglie, quantum number and electronic configuration. Now there is a fourth quantum number, last left, spin quantum number. Now sometimes there is a calculation may come to calculate the spin angular momentum. You will write under root L into L plus 1, write under root S into S plus 1. What is it? When it was L into L plus 1, it was angular momentum quantum number. But now it is spin angular momentum. Write down, it's a spin. If question comes, calculate spin angular momentum of electron, then you apply under root S into S plus 1 into h by 2 pi in spite of writing L. It is a spin angular momentum of electron, and you know what is S? S is plus half and minus half. The question will come, then we will take this formula. Spin angular momentum of electron is under root S into S plus 1 into h by 2 pi. So this is all about today's lecture. We have completed the main topic of this chapter. In the chapter structure of atom, the question comes from Bohr's model, quantum number, electronic configurations, Heisenberg principle, and about de Broglie. Now I have covered, and I have given the descriptive type notes, descriptive type explanation of each and every topic of this chapter session wise. Now I have started the MCQ tips only, not questions. In between few of the question I am touching, not full question. These are just MCQ tips of the chapter. And my next session I will solve some very important MCQ of any of the chapter. So this completed tips of the structure of atom. Thank you.